Hey, what's up? John Sonmez here from SimpleProgrammer.com. So today we're going to be talking about money and happiness and how they relate or don't relate. Just want to give a quick shout out to one of our sponsors, Tech Academy. Tech Academy is a software development boot camp which offers online or in-person training. Their program is self-paced and offers students flexible scheduling. They also offer open enrollment, which means you can start at any time. So if you're looking for a coding boot camp, I definitely recommend checking them out. I got an email from someone and they gave me some lyrics to a song and they were talking about this idea about money and happiness, and I thought I would talk about this a little bit because I think this is kind of interesting. I've talked about this before. I'll point to some videos in a second here because you know I'm going to be pointing to videos, right, that deal with this. But let me read the bit here that I have for on my Trello board for the title for the video here. You know, probably won't be the title of the video, but what I want to talk about, okay? So it said, so money can't buy you love and money can't buy you happiness, but it helps, in my opinion. But I'll tell you what money can buy you: freedom. Freedom to insert video here. And so that's true. I was thinking about this a lot, right? I did a video a while back, was pretty popular, on what it was like when I made $1 million, okay? And I talked a little bit about, you know, how it doesn't buy you happiness, and how, right, if you're shooting for goals all the time and you don't understand about the process, if you're not trusting the process, if it's not the journey, you know, I know that's cliche, but honestly, if you don't have a bigger purpose and mission in life, that you're going to actually be depressed and disappointed when you hit certain goals in life, especially financial goals. And, you know, I'm a pretty frugal guy. Like, I don't spend a huge amount of money, so, you know, making just a ton of money is not quite as appealing to me. I'm not going to buy like a Lamborghini, or at least, well, maybe I will someday. I don't know. But my threshold for buying a Lamborghini is pretty damn high, okay, considering that I've been driving a pretty old car for a long time. But I thought it was interesting to talk about just the idea, right? So, I mean, just breaking this apart, like these statements here. So can money buy you love? No, it can't buy you love, obviously. A lot of people try to buy love with money. That's one of the things that I think a lot of you still believe, right, from the comments that I get from some of you on these YouTube videos, right, is that you still believe it's going to buy you love, right, or at least sexual attraction. Not going to happen. I'm sorry. You know, I just did an interview with Aaron Marino, the Alpha M guy. I think we'll probably can link to it because it's probably up by now. And we were talking about this, and he did some videos on this. Essentially, like a lot of guys think that they're going to have a lot of money, and suddenly they're going to have a lot of chicks, and that's not quite right. And even if that were right, I mean, maybe you can buy some chicks with that. You're not going to have love, and you're not going to have sexual attraction. You're not going to have any of the stuff that you actually want. You know, you're just going to have paid for something, and even then, it's not quite as easy as you think. I mean, you just drop some money, like, here you go. Like, how do you even show that you have so much money that, regardless, I'm sure some of you have answers and you've figured this out, but money is not going to buy you love. And if you try to spend money on people to make them love you, that doesn't work either, right? Your friends, you can have fake friends. In fact, the more money you have, the more dangerous it becomes. The more money that you have, the more friends that you lose, the more love that you lose, the more family members that dislike you or, you know, resent you behind your back. Okay, so it's especially if they have problems with money, especially if they have psychological problems with money and they think it's wrong to be wealthy or to make money, you lose those, and it becomes very much more difficult to gain new friends and to gain new love interests when you're not sure if they like you, if they want to be around you, or if they want to be around Benjamin, your friend Benjamin. Okay, so, you know, it's not going to buy you happiness, obviously, because, you know, and there's studies that prove this. I tend to think some of these studies are bullshit about how, like, you're not much more happy if you're making, I don't know, like $100,000 versus $70,000 using US dollars. But I think that's kind of bullshit. I think you are more happy. But and I'll tell you why, because this is the point that I am going to get to here. It's like, you know, money can't buy you love, money can't buy you happiness, but it helps. It definitely does help. I know that it'll help you if you know how to use it to be more happy, if you want to, right? There's a lot of things. You can buy counseling, you can buy good books and coaching and things like that. But money can buy you freedom, and this is the key thing. This is why if you ask me, John, why would you want to make money, or why would you want to have a lot of money? That would be my answer. My answer would be freedom. Because if you were to rank, if you were to say, John Sonmez, what are your values? What is the highest things that you kind of value in life, in this life, that, you know, attributes, things that are non-tangible things, right? It would probably, freedom would be really, really high. Like, if you want to get in a row with me, I don't know why I said in a row. I'm using some English vocabulary here, some UK vocabulary. But if you want to get in a row with me, I'll tell you what you got to do. You got to try and take my freedom, or threaten my freedom in some way. Tell me I can't do something. Tell me I'm not qualified to do shit, right? Let's cue up the videos where people have told me where I've gone off because of this, right? Or they're telling someone else they're not qualified, right? I've got definitely some videos on this topic. But if you want me to fucking fight like a bulldog, you just try and take away my freedom, and you watch what will happen. And for me, I've always seen it this way, right? As I was young, if you've heard my story, I started investing in real estate when I was 19. I didn't know what the fuck I was doing. You can, of course, check out my story. I think I talk about it in the Millionaire Story. But essentially, I didn't want to live renting someone else's place, right? And eventually I figured out very, very quickly, early on, I figured out that I wanted to become retired early. And I devoted a lot of time and effort to investing in real estate. I will plug one more thing, and then we'll move on, which is my real estate investing course for software developers specifically. I mean, it's not necessarily just for software developers, but with the analytical mindset, you can check that out. It's well worth your investment if you want to get started in real estate investment, because I cut through all the bullshit, right? I just give you what I'm doing, right? And I have $3 million worth of real estate. I do, you know, $10,000, $12,000 a month of passive income from real estate, just to give the credibility piece here. But my point is this, is that I figured out very early on, and what drove me and motivated me to do all that was that I wanted my freedom, right? I've always had this urge for my freedom. And so while money can't buy you happiness and it can't buy you love, it certainly can buy you freedom, and it has bought me freedom, right? I have the freedom today because of the choices that I made back then, because I did those investments. That's why I encourage you, you know, when I sell a real estate course, that's why I do it, is to encourage you to do that. But because of those choices I made back then, because of some of the choices I made in my career, in developing my business, all things that all these things that I teach you here, is I got the opportunity to have a lot of freedom. Today, I have a lot of freedom. Today, I can wake up, literally, and I can do whatever the fuck I want. In fact, for the rest of my life, if I didn't want to work, I wouldn't have to work, right? I can pretty much do what I want to do. Now, why do I do crazy shit and work so hard anyway? You know, because I still have a purpose in life, right? So the thing about freedom is, and it's kind of ironic, is that the more of it that you have, the more that you're willing to give it up, but it's voluntary. See, there's a difference. Like, when you go into work, okay, and you gotta work for the man, okay, and you gotta do that because you gotta pay your mortgage, you gotta pay your paycheck, and someone's in charge of you, you don't really have freedom. Okay, and you resent that, and you want to get out of that situation, and it's not very pleasing. Okay, but when you have freedom, when you don't have to do anything, you suddenly want to do more. You suddenly want to go and do shit that you don't need to do because it's your choice now. That's the ultimate freedom. That's the higher level of freedom. Freedom at its core is the ability to do what you want, right? And it exists at different levels. Other people can prevent you from doing what you want. Money can prevent you from doing what you want. Usually it does, right? And your own inhibitions, your own self, your own mind, your own self-speak, or your own perception of yourself can prevent you from doing what you want. In that other video, I talked about what I think true freedom is. I'm talking about not letting your own self-talk take away your freedom. But it's really interesting just to think about this. You know, so some of you have said to me, John, you know, I'm not interested in money, man. You're such a douchebag. Like, talking about money and everything's got to be profitable and open source and free love and all this shit, right? Not that I'm talking about that, you guys are talking about that. Like, and I get that, okay, and I get that you have altruistic motives, although no one really has altruistic motives, right? We all want something, okay? But here's the thing, I would posit for you to consider, to think on the idea that one good thing about money, especially if you got hangups about money. A lot of people have real big hangups about money because they've been taught that wealthy people are bad and making money is bad and greed and all this shit, okay? But man, if you want to help people in the world, I've been able to do so much to help people that I would not have been able to do without money, right? Without making money and being successful in doing that. But if you have that sort of mindset and you want to be more altruistic, right? Well, one, like I just said, you'll be able to help more people by making more money. I guarantee you that. But two, money equals freedom. And so if you value freedom, if you value your time, if you value being able to do what you want with your life, yeah, there's no better way to achieve that than making a lot of money. Money will buy you absolutely freedom. And if you can derive happiness from freedom, then in an indirect way, money will buy you happiness, right? It's never going to directly buy you happiness. You can't substitute personal development with money. That's not going to happen, right? You can have the freedom that money provides you, and you can be all fucked up inside and not understand how your own brain works and not overcome all of your hang-ups and your psychosis, and you could end up not being happy. It certainly happens. But if you have the money, you have the freedom. And one of the things that freedom will give you is the time, and like I said, and the counseling or the counselors or the coaching that might help you to actually achieve the happiness that you want. So I highly value freedom, and because of that, I have to highly value money, even though, like I said, I'm a pretty frugal guy as far as, you know, most people making the money that I would make would be spending a lot of more money. I'll be honest with you. But it is nice, and it is nice to have the freedom to spend the money on the things that I want to when I do want to. But more importantly, it's not even that, it's having the mindset, it's knowing, it helps me to get up every fucking morning and make these videos and to help you and to do what I got to do for this company, knowing that I don't have to do any of it, right? That I have the ultimate freedom, that I can live the lifestyle that I want, that I can survive and do well without having to do any of this shit. And it also makes it so that when I'm coming here, when I'm doing what I'm doing, when I'm giving my all, it's not because I'm compelled to do it. It's because I choose to do it. Huge, huge difference in the quality of life and the way that you approach things. And I think you can probably see it in my content, in my videos, if you've watched me over the years, if you've seen as I've gained more and more freedom in various aspects of my life, not just financially, but in many areas of my life, how I've been able to be more genuine and to connect more and to give less of shit of what other people think, and to really be motivated by giving my best because I choose to. At every corner, every turn, it becomes more and more my choice, and when it becomes my choice, it brings me a lot more fulfillment, not just short-term happiness, but actual fulfillment. All right, that's all I got for you today. If you like this video, if you haven't subscribed already, if you want to get on the path to your own freedom, make sure you click that subscribe button. And like I say all the time, click the bell so you don't miss any videos. I will talk to you next time. Take care.